Hello everyone, welcome. Just realized I haven't got the dashboard thing in, but yeah, today we're playing Inhuman Resources. I believe I don't actually know what to expect, if I'm to be completely honest. I just kind of haven't properly read the blurb or anything like that. I'm just going in completely blind, but I think it's sort of the vibe it gives is kind of creepy. In like a way too realistic to be comfortable kind of way. Hi Nanami, welcome. So yeah, I really don't know. I don't even know if it's a visual novel or whether it's it said visual novel RPG, so I don't know, maybe there are bits that are a bit more interactive. It also said it's like Zero Escape meets Severance, so is it going to be escape room type things? I don't know. I really don't know what to expect, but I am quite excited actually. Okay. YouTube actually notified me for once. Oh, it did? Okay, good. Maybe I just need to like schedule it way in advance as opposed to like literally a few hours before, which to be honest, even this, I'm guilty of doing that. I'm just not very good at like setting. I have this weird phobia where if I've got something set, like an exact time, I freak out when it comes to like hobbies and things. Because all of a sudden I feel like there's this immense pressure that I have to do this grandiose thing, even though it's just streaming, which is really funny when you think about it. Okay, I have let people know. I never know whether to like wait a little bit or to kind of, because I know YouTube is a little bit, it kind of delays a little bit, so I'll go live and then only 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later do people finally arrive, if you know what I mean. But yeah, how was your weekend? Mine was quite ordinary, really. Just got a load of chores done. Oh, dear me. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to start. Oh, is it supposed to be like that? I feel like this is not supposed to. It's supposed to be like, I think the settings is supposed to be up there and not down here. But I'm using a separate, like, this is the screen. Okay, is there a way to change this? Oh my god. Or do I just crop? We'll see. Weekend too short as always. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. Hi, Lisu, welcome. Yeah, and then Monday comes along and oh, there are 3 deaths. The first is when the body ceases to function. The second is when the body is consigned to the grave. The third is that moment sometime in the future when your name is spoken for the last time. Interesting. I feel like this is supposed to be like this screen is too big for it or something. Oh. An all too familiar screeching reverberates inside your brain. The noise comes in waves, the pain follows suit. You try your best to ignore both, but the mere fact you've acknowledged the awful sound means it has already won. Your phone's alarm is simply much too loud to ignore. Oh. I was about to say that alarm is giving me flashbacks to mornings I don't want to remember. Defeated, your eyelids peel apart like sheets of rotting Velcro, blinking back a bad night's blurry haze. You lie in bed, awake against your consent. The room is almost pitch black, save for the intermittent flashing of your phone's screaming screen. A rancid, if routine stench of unwashed bedsheets bids you a bittersweet good morning. Hi Fancy, welcome! I thought this channel was on. It does look off-center, doesn't it? I wonder if that's something I can, like, fix? Maybe I need to swap the... Give me a moment. Oh, why does that have to happen? of all days today. I don't think it's not that. Display. Oh, maybe I can. Let's see. Display settings. Oh, no. How about if I do... Oh, what have I done? Oh. Wait, hang on a sec. Oh god, what have I done? Yeah, I can't seem to... I thought that would fix it. It's such like classic streaming problems, isn't it? No, that's not it. Oh my god, my mouse is no patience is... Yep. Where is my mouse? I can't see my... There we go. That's where my mouse is. Why is it like... Would you guys care if I did just stream it when it's off center? Because I feel like just it's not really working. I thought that might help. Let me close it. Let me close it once. Go here. Exit game. Let me close it once. Okay, now let's open it again. Where is it? There it is. If it opens on here, hopefully. No, it's not opening in the right place. Oh dear god. I think it's a design choice. You'd think, but it's not, because when I played it earlier on my little screen, it was like there. All centered. Otherwise, I think the same thing, but there we go. Let's go back to that. Oh my god. Hard to say without getting into the game proper. Maybe it'll be fine. Yeah, and now it's like taking forever to... Oh my god, I can't. This is so stressful. Why do I stream when this sort of thing happens? Okay, let me close it. What is going on? Oh my god. Why is my mouse being annoying? It won't let me use... It won't let me use my mouse now. It just stays on the screen. It was never meant to be on. I mean... Oh dear me. Oh god, what have I done now? Okay, now turn the big screen on and then move this to there, and I've sorted it out, I think. Oh. Yeah? Can we do that, Mr. Screen? Oh, great, it's happened again. I don't know why, but you know how normally when you move it like this, the mouse will go to your other screen? Why does it say all pretty in the upstate spot? Oh, that's probably my that was probably ages ago when I had I can't remember what it was, but it was something I did ages ago, like years ago. I saw that too. Why is it doing this? I'm gonna... Ugh. This is stressing me out so much. I'm gonna just turn... Okay, I'm gonna disappear, the noise is gonna disappear, and... What, can I even do that given I can't seem to access my... What is this bullshit? This is actually really stressing me out. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I think... Oh, give me a moment. I really don't know what's happened. This has literally never happened to me. Like, why did I change things? Okay, be right back. Let me... Be right... Okay. Right. All sorted. I am calm now. I literally went running to the outside. I was like, I don't know what's happening. And he was like, oh, just do this, this and that. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's all fixed. What's this? University, the professor does not show up for 15 minutes. There's no class. You're killing me. It's okay. You have the time to get it right. Don't stress yourself too much. I was stressing so much. And I'm calmer now, though. This is more like the professor showing up and I'm like such a boomer now. I can't deal with technology. The ones who write too fast and score the next line. You guys are making me laugh. I'm gonna start crying. Okay. The way they were still not understanding the most basic things, like getting to sound up when they did movie showing in class, I was like, we're in 2000. Okay, right. Time to continue on with the game. Whew. Defeated, your eyelids peel apart like sheets of rotting Velcro, blinking back a bad night's blurry haze. You lie in bed, awake against your consent. The room is almost pitch black, save for the intermittent flashing of your phone's screaming screen. A rancid, if routine stench of unwashed bed sheets bid you a bittersweet good morning. Oh, lovely. Wait, where is my... Okay, good. You're home, for better or worse, mostly the latter these days. Just once you wish you'd wake up somewhere else instead. Just once you wish time would ask permission before racing ahead, but your phone doesn't care about what you want. Oh no, not this alarm noise. Oh gee, maybe I shouldn't have saved. Do I bring it? Bring what up? Oh, is it off center again? Okay, right. I can't. What is this? Okay, right. What we'll do is... What about if we do that? Oh, I hate looking at myself from this angle. Oh, God. Anyway. Where is my... You know what? Now my mouse won't show. Oh, yeah. It's there. My mouse is there. All good. It was the horror before the horror. It's a new genre of technological horror. Tried to click and copy paste without dying. I left the wrong app. Hi Ravens, welcome. I think what we're seeing now is the intended experience. Alright. Okay, right, what were we doing? Where is my... There we go. The insufferable screeching drills deeper into your skull. You throw back your dirty blankets, blindly reaching for the misbegotten beast. Oh, you throw back your dirty blankets, blindly reaching for the misbegotten beast, which is the phone, I suppose. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Interesting. The slab of thumb-smudged plastic feels comfortable in your palm. Most call the device ancient, but to you it's cozy and familiar, like an old, if outdated, friend. No oversized touchscreen, no fancy graphics card for mobile games, no constant access to So or So G network, just a simple tool with a cute antenna that still allows you time to disconnect. You've always appreciated the old and the analog despite the wider world's obsession with digitized progress. There's sincerity in physicality and warmth to an object's weight. You'll cling to this relic as long as you can. Sensible upgrades be damned. Quick question, am I too loud? Am I too quiet? Is the game sound okay? Do let me know. Dirty blanket made me think of Inhuman. Oh my god, it really is the old kind. It's the one that does this. It's the kind that's like... You fiddle with the phone, desperate to stop the alarm, but no matter which button you press, the shrieking will not end. That's because this isn't your alarm at all, it's your ringtone. Squinting in the darkness, you barely make out the caller's ID. It's your aunt/landlady, technically speaking. Hopefully just your aunt today. The woman is exhausting enough when she isn't asking for rent payments, no matter how overdue they are. Still, should you really ignore a call from the one person still willing to support you between jobs? Oh, okay, we've got a choice now. No fancy, I think someone is not welcome. The one being mean to the other. Okay. I'm gonna accept call. She's my aunt, and apparently that we're on good terms with, so... Static crackles as your obsolete cell phone struggles to connect. After a sharp click, you mumble a hesitant hello. Hey there, sweetie. Sorry for calling you out of the blue like this. Hope I'm not interrupting lunch. The scratchy, fast smile of her bombastically condescension voice greets you on the line's other end. No mistaking your dear auntie. But what's this about lunch? You flick on a light and glance towards your microwave's LED clock display. A shameful number stares back from the room's abyss. 1:29 p.m. You wince and make up a half-baked lie, pretending to walk with your mouth full. Your aunt doesn't seem to buy it. Well, I'm sure you're very busy with job applications today, so I'll get straight to the point. Do you have any idea when you'll be able to send me last month's rent? I know money's been tight lately, but it's already the 31st. 1 missed payment is bad enough, but 2? Oof, painful. Not the call you want when you're sleepy. I put my blanket in the washing machine just like my sheets. Thank you very much. Shit, landlady it is. You feel yourself deflate, glancing to the tower of rejected job applications standing proud and precarious upon your messy desk. The top sheet almost grazes your modest apartment's ceilings. Your aunt? Your aunt suggested to print each refusal, claiming they'd make your eventual hiring all the more rewarding. You found that harder and harder to believe ever since the letters started to outnumber the dollars in your bank account. Sweetie, do you have some kind of estimate for me? I would really need to answer today. I don't understand, because like, unless this is her only source of money, I know that you shouldn't be relying on your family and all of this, but she's not very understanding considering she's, you know, family. I don't know, maybe that's just how I feel. Job interview, truly terrifying. See, I don't mind job interviews, just clearly my, I don't look great on paper, so I never get to the point of the job interview, so I don't get to show my charisma. Non-existent charisma. But interviews I don't mind, that's just like having a nice little chat, you know? I always say it's the only time you can get to talk about yourself without being an arrogant ass. Experiencing many horrors today. They're realistic horrors. Oh, dear me. You have no choice. Beg for more, time to pay. Again, lie to her. Everything is under control. I'm not good at lying. That's why I suck at life. You have no choice. Beg for more, time to pay. You swallow your pride. It goes down easy. There isn't much of it left. For the 100,000th millionth time, you swear to send your aunt the money the second you get a steady paycheck. Until then, there's no way you can conjure that kind of cash out of thin air. An uncomfortable silence lingers over your phone's speaker. After several torturous seconds, a disappointed sigh comes through. Sweetie. Oh no, I don't like the fact that she calls us that. It feels almost ominous. I let you rent that place to give you a second chance, not to keep enabling this shameful do-nothing behavior of yours. Honestly, I'd be more than willing to forgive delays if I knew you were actually trying, but you can't expect me to believe you've been pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and giving this job hunt all you've got when you've been living in a pigsty for the past year. I mean, okay, I see her point if the character here isn't trying, you know? Pigsty? You deflect the woman's accusations, blabbering in desperate denial, but as your eyes drift over the sorry state of your apartment, your ramblings soon turn to tragic silence. You've been immune to the stench for a few months now, but no amount of time will ever make you blind to the altars of wretchedness your neglect has erected. On the floor, your desk, in the kitchen, and even in your fridge. At your desk would mean like clutter, right? Like in the kitchen would mean like food dirt. Same for fridge, but if it's like on the floor, it's probably clothes. At your desk, it's probably like clutter, like nail polish and stuff. Pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, okay, boo. Kind of harsh. We have a stack of rejection letters. Oh, don't. It's like PTSD, honestly. At your desk, because we've been searching hard. Fly swarmed, styrofoam contain. Oh, I always say, I may not be tidy, but I am always clean. Because like, yeah, I might be like cluttery and that there's like, you know, lipsticks and cuticle oil and hand cream and like blah, blah, blah all over my desk. But is there a piece of food here? No. Fly swarm styrofoam containers amalgamate themselves into awkwardly unstable modern art installations. Your largest one can only be referred to as the Leaning Tower of Takeout. Oh, I see. We're going through each one. On the floor, crumpled stacks of crusty laundry litter the unmopped ground like landmines in an active war zone. Filthy cookware overflows from your sink, bathed in rancid dishwater. A layer of film has foamed on the surface, thick as the crust of a creme brulee. Ah, no! This is horror. And even in your fridge, the outdated contraption hums like a thermonuclear lawnmower, even though you know damn well it's not keeping anything cold right now. Maybe ketchup packets if you're lucky. Oh, at least she actually got the rejection and not the now usual ghosting, no response. Oh god, yeah. Crusty laundry, I know, that's made me cringe. Oh god. I feel sick just thinking about it. Pigsty or not, there's no denying that this whole unemployment business has been taking a serious toll, one that's gone on long enough for your aunt's pity to become well-deserved contempt. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Hey, it's not your fault those stupid companies won't hire overqualified geniuses. She's right, you're scum. Worse than scum, she should just evict you and get it over with. You're sick of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. Can't someone else pull them for you? I'm gonna go for the third one. You're sick of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. You've become convinced that effort is overrated and wasted effort is downright offensive. Why keep applying to jobs if it never lands you a contract? Why clean your room if it just gets dirty again? No. Your precious time and energy would be better spent sleeping in, waiting for money to magically appear. Oh my god. Jesus. Creme brulee isn't that thicker. It is for biofilm. Like, biofilms, you know, like, basically, you know, they're very thin. So if it's like the crust of a creme brulee, that's been there for like months, you know? Okay, she needs a true mental health cleaning session. It actually really does help the mind to live somewhere cleaner. I 100% agree. When the kitchen starts like kind of getting a bit sort of on the messier side, it just like my life feels so gross. So it needs to be clean. Lily would know effort. This game is giving depression quest vibes. Oh god. Your aunt, quite obviously, does not share your optimistically apathetic philosophy. Honey, none of your efforts have been wasted because you haven't even made one yet. I mean, you show up late to every interview. Sorry, I'm just like late to an interview. You show up late to every interview, you dress like a slob, and if you actually cooked once in a while instead of ordering in, you'd have enough money to buy an island nation. How is an employer supposed to trust you with keeping their business running if you can't even pretend to take responsibility for yourself? Keep choosing to be lazy and people keep choosing not to give you a chance. You have acquired just plain old effing lazy. You brace yourself as the woman prepares to deliver her most frequent, most frustrating spiel. You could probably repeat it word for word if ever you were held at gunpoint. Remember, sweetie, stop calling me sweetie, auntie. In our world, choices matter, the big ones and the small ones. We can't always take those decisions back, and we can't control their consequences either, which means we have to choose carefully. You most certainly have not been doing that, but if you have any intention of getting yourself out of this mess, you need to start making the right decisions, and soon. You hang your head and nod, gulping down your last trickle of self-respect. Hearing this speech frequently doesn't make it any easier to hear. Anywho, enough of that. The real reason I'm calling is because I might have an opportunity for you. Oh, thank God. We may have a potential job opportunity. You can tell by her inflection, she means a job opportunity. Your reaction is practically Pavlovian. You salivate at the thought of your unrelenting financial woes finally coming to an end and grip the cell phone tighter, aching with anticipation. See, there's this problem employee at our company. He works at one of the local branches right next to where you live. But the man has a terrible attitude and is even more terrible when it comes to, well, whatever it is you think we do over there. You picture her limply waving a wrist in some vague dismissive pattern. More of the highly confidential stuff she can't share but brags about anyway. Not that you're entirely sure what your aunt actually does for a living to begin with. Something to do with human resources, maybe? Needless to say, we'll be laying off the little sourpuss as soon as a fitting replacement is found. But thing is, we need that replacement fast. Company has a big business deal coming up. We can't afford to be short on staff right now. Luckily, I happen to know a certain someone in dire need of a job, and this position happens to be entry level. No major qualifications needed. It even comes with a sterling letter of recommendation from yours truly. Now, this won't be an easy job. Supervisors are very strict, and the anxiety has a way of following you home. But so long as you nail the interview, you're basically guaranteed stable income for as long as you need it. Smyrna Corp isn't prone to random layoffs. So, how about it, sweetie? Shall I schedule something for you? Sounds great. Have her set up an interview pronto or politely decline. You'd rather be poor than deal with a workplace like that. Obviously, I'm going for the first one. I know reality is harsh. You just have to suck it up and continue living. I mean, if she wants MC to be more an adult, stop calling her sweetie like she's a child. Nothing could possibly go wrong by accepting a job out of pure desperation. All jobs I take is out of pure desperation. It's so true. If you're searching for a job and you don't have a job, you're gonna be desperate. It's just like, that's just how it is. I need the wine. Okay. High stress environment or not, it beats homeless by a country mile. You agree to your aunt's offer with ravenous insistence. The woman breathes a sigh of relief and lets out a nervous laugh. It almost sounds like she's in ecstatic disbelief. Thank goodness. You have no idea what it means to hear you say that, dear. You're literally saving my life. Literally. You should probably be the one telling her that, but you won't complain about receiving gratitude instead of judgment for once. Without missing a beat, your aunt hammers at her computer's keyboard, drafting you an email. You clamber your way out of bed, tripping over day-old takeout and the mounds of dirty underwear as you rush toward your laptop. Oh, how can she live in such an environment? I've booked the earliest appointment I could possibly find. You should get an email with the time, address, and job description soon. Be sure to read everything carefully and do not be late. Mr. Burgard will skin me alive if I send him another unpunctual idiot. Oh, and try to show a little gusto out there. If Mr. Burgard thinks you're lazy, he might try to fix you rather than hire you. Fix you? Rather than offer answers, your aunt whispers a farewell. Good luck, sweetie. I hope you'll forgive me for this I hope you'll forgive me for this someday? What? Click. The line goes deathly silent, save for a droning dial tone. You get an urge to call her back, but the ding of an invitation appearing in your inbox catches your attention first. Uh-oh. Your interview is today, at 4 p.m. sharp, no less. Jesus, that's very, very quick. If we could live rent-free just in Hobbyland forever, we would all take that choice. How's it going? Hey Kennedy, welcome. Hi Liz, welcome. We are all like talking about how depressing this game is with its... So far what's happened is... Oh my god, what have I done? I just kicked something. Okay, so far what's happened is this main character is a massive slob with crusty underwear lying around. thing that had the most impact in my mind, clearly. Living in her aunt's place so she's late on rent by a month or something. Her aunt calls her and is like, what's going on? And says she's got a job for her. So the main character's like, fine, I'll take it. As in, like, I'll go for the interview. And then she's like, I hope you won't hate me for what I've just done or something. I don't know. It's like, it's realistic horror for sure. It's the hair and the tortoise. It's harsh reality of rejection and depression, basically. We live in Asmongold's apartment. I was thinking that when I heard of, like, the thick bio film. I was like, that's Asmo's sink, isn't it? With, like, what was... I still remember watching he, like, clean his sink or something. And it was, what was it, white all along? Or, like, silver all along? And everyone was like, sorry, what? Because it was like brown and yuck. I love a depressing game, but the underwear thing is gross. I know, right? You curse under your breath, rushing to shower and get dressed. Your stack of rejection letters gets knocked over by your charge and scatters across the room in a whirlwind of standard issue responses. You beg with every fibre of your being not to come home with a new failure to add onto the pile. Chapter complete. Proceed to the waiting room. The packed full city transit bus comes to a creaking stop right in front of an old building you've never seen before. Shoving your way past crowded commuters, you step onto an empty sidewalk. The vehicle rolls away, fading into the misty afternoon and leaving you utterly alone. You briefly wonder if getting off here was a mistake. You review your aunt's documents, poring over the civic number, street name, and postal code, as though every character were the cipher to some secret code. By the time you finish your third revision, you're forced to concede. This must be the right address. But it's not remotely what you expected. Okay. To be honest, I didn't read any summary before this game, so I still don't know what will go on. Same, I just know it's some, like, depressing work visual novel thing. Okay, so there's the unnerving facade. Glazed grey brickwork and pale veined marble unite to form a vast web of extravagant monochrome patterns, but despite all the details, the sum total still gives off a sense of cold, calculated purpose. Almost like an anarchic graffiti artist were hired to redesign a palliative care centre. The decorative windows. As you climb the front steps, a set of circular gold-tinted portholes stare down at you. They are unblinking, like the eyes of a giant deep-sea squids. The glass is too opaque to see through, yet you suspect someone is on the other side, watching you approach. Massive front gates. Made from half-ton hunks of glistening cast iron, the double doors have been decorated with an intricate bas-relief of skyscrapers swimming in fog. Bit ironic for such a stout little edifice. And the bronze door knocker. Shaped like a crowned king's severed head, the object is so lifelike you're scared it will be warm and wet to the touch. Unfortunately, you see no keypads, handles, or ID scanners that would allow for easier entry. The mention of Severance caught my interest. I love that show. I actually haven't watched it, so yeah. But I did do a little Google of what it was, and it looks intriguing. The local branch of Smyrna Corp is only 4 stories tall, yet feels impossibly imposing. It's caught between outdated aesthetics and timeless sensibilities, somehow both outrageous yet invisibly subtle, as if meant to be forgotten at a passing glance, and to haunt those whose gazes linger. You suspect you may be underdressed. As is customary, you wait till the very last minute to get just why, main character, why? Tossing on the first thing that happened to be lying around, and judging by those weird looks you were getting on the bus, your impromptu fashion experiment may not have resulted in the new pinnacle of professional apparel. Then again, there's only so many combinations of mustard-stained tees and sweatpants to an interview. a single person can create, especially when they're deliberately not done. Oh, this is so gross, I can't. Regardless, what you've got will have to do. The hour of your interview approaches, and you won't have cash to afford a better outfit until this job is yours. Dear God. I don't know what a giant squid's eyes blink like. Yeah, I don't actually know what a giant squid looks like, to be honest. Office setting, fantasy setting with Mita. I haven't watched Severance, but I have been told I have to watch. I bought new lipstick today with lip gloss too. Ooh, nice. What colour is it? I only know the Severance theme. And we discussed Sympathy Kiss with my bestie on the day. Aww. I sent her invite to our server. Hopefully she joins. You're like advocating my server all the time, County. I appreciate that. Reach for the knocker and bang it against the door. The bronze object booms against the iron gates even harder than your thumping heart. Moments later, something clicks and the latch comes undone. The doors groan themselves open, inviting you inside. You step into the building and are greeted by what seems to be a 5-star hotel's reception area. The room is utterly massive, with high ceilings akin to a Renaissance church's cavernous belly. Its windows let no sunshine through, and no fluorescent light bulbs fill it with their pale glare. They are just low-hanging chandeliers and an array of green glass banker lamps, bathing the room in burnt orange. Upholstered sofas and coffee tables dot the space like islands, forming a winding path that leads to the room's distant depths. There, a woman stands behind a desk, flanked on each side by grillage elevators. The sharp machine gun clatter of her mechanical keyboard echoes across the room. You appreciate the old and analog, but Smyrna Corp's apparent fondness is downright ridiculous. Hopefully the receptionist won't feel the same way about your subpar outfit. Pretend to be confident, stride over like you own the place. Adjust your crappy clothes and meekly approach. I'm going to pretend to be confident, obviously. That's how you get the job, right? Right? With a little luck, it will read as self-assurance instead of total delusion. The dim lighting becomes dimmer the further you go, and thick shadows close in on you like claustrophobic walls. Wall-to-wall carpeting squishes under your feet, and an unfamiliar ammonia aroma assails your flared nostrils. Whatever they use to clean the place smells strong enough to double as a bioweapon, but still isn't enough to erase the lingering stench of cigarette smoke. The off-putting odor does suit the outdated decor, however. I'm imagining like Art Deco style for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's the color scheme. It's kind of like... On your left. Headless nude bodies are contorted in pain as veins sprout through their skin like a tree's sprawling roots. On your right. A bleak rendition of what you assume to be Babel's tower has been built out of steel girders, electrical wiring, and bones. Up ahead, you see human skulls whose scalps have exploded, revealing interwoven helixes of DNA strands and binary code. What happened to good old-fashioned gargoyles? Unsettled by your surroundings, your eyes drift back to the woman working the reception desk. There are letters engraved in the wall above her, spelling out a slogan in twinkling silver font. Memoriae perpetuitas mutatio. I'm guessing that's Latin. What? Anyone here learnt Latin? Would be nice if you could translate this for me. I sent him Kanati is a true Hiyoko. She is. Bright red, maybe more magenta. Ooh! So really nice bright lipstick then. You don't know much about corporate branding, let alone Smyrna Corp's specific suite of services, but you're not sure how effective that cryptic slogan must be. Maybe you should have read your aunt's documents more carefully, you know, instead of sleeping on the bus, wondering how long this crap would keep you from the comfort of your bed. This person really does have depression, don't they? I do feel a little sorry for them. You wave hello to the receptionist, but she doesn't even flinch. Her gaze remains glazed over, wholly focused on her work. She's younger than you first thought. Maybe 30? Likely not quite. Sickly pale with sleep-deprived bags under her eyes. Each one darker than the acrylic of her tidy black turtleneck. Her hair is knotted into a dainty bun. Her fingers devoid of polish or rings. They move across her keyboard like demented tap dancers. Wait, no, not her keyboard. Her typewriter. It's a really, really old one, made from brass, black plastic, and way too many moving parts. A relic from the 1800s that looks like it barely scraped through both world wars. And you thought your laptop was getting old. You also notice a small desk bell glimmering on the counter next to it. Maybe. She's a secretary, not a Victorian era maid. Just say hello like a normal person. Ring it. I want to ring the... It seems a bit passive-aggressive to ring the bell when the person's already there. I don't know if anyone would feel that way. I'm just making assumptions with how it sounds. It sounds similar to in French. What did the words mean if it were French? It's more novel than visual novel. Yeah, I agree. It feels more like pick your own. Maybe there's going to be pictures later on. I don't know. You meant to whisper a polite greeting. Nervousness turns into a shout. Oh no. The woman's head snaps forward as though hit by an electric shock. She flashes you a beaming, not quite pearl white smile. Welcome to Smyrna Corp. Do you have an appointment? The words barely seep through the woman's gritted teeth. Her grin is so tight, it hurts to watch. But there's no trace of frustration. She's a dictionary definition of too friendly, made uncomfortably manifest. Unsettled, you stumble your way through an explanation of your aunt's referral. The receptionist replies with a nod, squinting as she reads the writing on her typewriter's latest sheet. Ah, of course, we've been expecting you. I'm afraid Mr. Burgard is running a little late this afternoon. He'll need a few more minutes until he's ready to speak with you. But you're more than welcome to peruse our visitor handbooks while waiting. This is when, main character, you should be reading those documents, okay? This is like gift from the gods of giving you the opportunity to read what you're supposed to. She gestures to a set of nearby couches and a table chock full of company pamphlets, but you're more surprised to notice someone else already sitting there. A young man with a bitter look etched into his furrowed face. Could this be another applicant for the job? An irritated customer? I'd be paranoid. I'd be like, oh my god, is it another applicant that I need to beat? Memory perpetuity change is the Latin translation. Oh, you learned Latin at uni. Oh, that's really interesting. Did you learn Latin at uni out of your own choice? Shoot, your aunt never mentioned competition. And if they turn out to be competent, you could be in big trouble. Your bleak musings are cut short by the receptionist's unpainted nails tapping at her name tag. I'm Melazine, by the way. I'll call you as soon as Mr. Burgard becomes available. In the meantime, please let me know if you have any questions. With a grateful, albeit embarrassed nod, you walk away and slump into an old-fashioned sofa. Melazine's customized typewriter clacking away once more. The couch's cushions felt quite stiff, or maybe your stress-clenched back does. Considering the ferocious stare-down you're receiving from the stranger seated across you, it could well be the latter. 3:42, 18 minutes left. The steady tick of a vintage clock draws your gaze, its hand pointing opposite directions. I see. Good thing you came early. You still have time to prepare before your interview, but probably not enough to do everything you want. You'll have to decide where to spend it carefully. Okay, decision time. We also had Latin at uni for 1 year, but I forgot everything. It wasn't of my own volition, it was part of medical training. Oh, okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Part of translator training as well. Huh. Read through those pamphlets and find out more about Smyrna Corp. Melusine said she could answer a few questions. Why not take her up on the offer? Strike up a conversation with the irritated man. Maybe you can learn something from him. There's a magazine on the coffee table. Give it a closer look. I'm for either 1 or 2 or 3. I still sometimes read Latin as part of your job. Oh, okay. What part of the job requires Latin? I feel like this will say things that you could have just researched online at home, so it's not that impressive. This one, she could have some answers that as an employee you're supposed to have. However, you also, can you like trust her or not? Striking up a conversation with the irritated man. It could be that he's a customer, or, you know, it could be that he's a customer. So then you can understand what the shortcomings of current, you know, ways of the company is, and then you can leverage that into better answers in your interview. Scripts for, sorry, I'm like asking all these questions. I bet the irritated man knows something. Listen D means twice a day, written in BD on a script. Oh, I see. So I guess it's a little bit like if someone's doing like species identification, they need to know that specific like Latin for those, like the binomial names. So it's not that you necessarily like speak it as part of it, or like read long pages and pages of it. It's more just like the words that are required. Oh, prescriptions, right. I see. Huh. Cool. Okay, we'll go I am kind of curious about the irritated man, you know. Okay, I'll go with what Nanomi's saying, and I'll go with this one. Time to break the ice. Hopefully it won't be the very thin ice you seem to be standing on with this guy. You take a seat next to a stranger, introducing yourself with a smile. Rather than ease the tension, the man scowls as if you were a clump of dog shit clinging to his shoe. His snarling voice sounds coarser than a poorly maintained gravel driveway. The hell do you want? Can't you tell I'm not in the mood? Oh, okay, maybe wrong choice, who knows? Well, if you couldn't tell before, you certainly can now. You gulp audibly, worried this person might assault you at a moment's notice, but as you stammer out some vague apologies, you notice something surprising. He doesn't look all that angry, let alone angry at you. In fact, he mostly looks fretful. The man's calloused hands aren't balled into fists, but kneading each other with relentless worry. Sweat beads at the temples of his receding hairline, wearing down the hair gel matting down his tar-black locks. One of his legs shudders visibly, its foot tapping the floor with the breakneck tempo of a meth-addled punk musician stomping a drum pedal. He reminds you of Melusine. He has the same not-quite-30s face, same dark and baggy tired eyes, same snug black turtleneck, kept tidy as a military uniform. But his name tag reads Emiliano. Wait, name tag? It hits you then that Emiliano isn't a company client nor a prospective candidate of the same job you are. He's a Smyrna Corp employee. Look, pal, all your staring is giving me conniptions. Either speak up or back off, alright? Your aunt warned you about how stressful this place was. Best leave him alone. Be compassionate, ask if there's something wrong. This is your chance to learn from someone with first-hand experience. Ask him what his job is like. I think like this is the first one is the right thing to do, but I'm tempted to pick the third. Oh, I don't know. We won't find out anything. This would have been like a pointless decision if we go for the first one though. Exactly, Lee. I don't speak it, but I can read some. I'm impressed it's part of translator training. I wouldn't have thought it would be. I'll go for the second one, a compromise. For you, the hardest part of job hunting was always the impression of powerlessness combined with a feeling of tremendous isolation. Even one person who could sympathize with your woes would have been a godsend. But this guy only reads your empathy as an insult. Ah, wrong decision. Are you brain damaged or just actively trying to screw with me? Seriously, if I'm getting laid off from the worst job I've ever had, why the hell would I want to get cheered up about it? Heck, if it weren't for this piece of shit exit interview, it'd be the happiest day of my... This is the person's job we're about to take. You have a hard time picturing this being happy, but no trouble whatsoever imagining why the man was fired. Then suddenly you connect the dots. This must be the problematic employee your aunt was talking about. You cringe so hard your jaw aches. Offering to make someone feel better right before stealing their job is a level of awkward tension you weren't prepared for. Trying to recover from embarrassment, you change the subject to this exit interview, which seems to be causing such strife. Must be pretty new to Smyrna Corp's bullshit if you're asking me that, huh? Look, if they just wanted to tell me no hard feelings or ask how management could have done better, I wouldn't have a problem. But these bastards don't work that way. Every person I've ever seen get called into one of these meetings comes out looking like a walking corpse, and I don't blame them one bit. Honestly, I'd rather get castrated than go into that meeting. At least then I could bring my balls back home in a pretty little box and then send a loud keep out message to whoever they're called in to take my place. Oh my god. Well, it did send some kind of message. Still, despite the crudeness of his metaphors and the stink of booze on his breath, you sense Emiliano's fear runs far deeper than unemployment. In fact, it sounds like he wants to protect the person who will be taking over his job. Should you reveal your identity? Confess your intentions and ask about this warning he has for you. I'll go for that. Glancing toward the receptionist to make sure she isn't eavesdropping, you whisper the truth into Emiliano's ear. His already bulging eyes grow wider as he realizes why you're here. Rather than appear relieved by your presence, you suddenly sense he's deathly afraid of it. You're not messing with me, are you? You're really here to work at Smyrna Corp? You give him a baffled nod, briefly explaining your precarious financial situation and assuring you meant no offense by applying for a livelihood he'll soon be deprived of. But the booze-breathed man doesn't seem to register a single word you say. Rather, he interrupts you by leaning in so close, the surface of your respective eyeballs practically kiss. I'm here for the drama. I know, right? I'm getting all excited. Well, we might be a terrible person, but let's squeeze him for info. Liz, no, don't reveal. Oh no, I picked the other one. Unfortunately, I can't help but pick the honest option. It's just the way I am. I don't know why. I don't like having secrets. It means you have to pretend all the time. It's just so much effort. This is probably why I don't get along with like chronic liars. I just don't understand them. Listen to me, it's too late for you now. The moment you walk through that door, your chance to escape was already over. But what you can do is lessen any damage those bastards will make you do. The guy who's going to interview you, Bargard, if your application satisfies him, he's going to ask you to go through an evaluation, a questionnaire to give you a taste of the work we really do round here. I can't tell you anything more without getting up to my neck in shit, but no matter what happens, you've got to do everything in your power to fail that test, okay? His plea is earnest and full of desperation, yet it's also patently ridiculous. Why would you purposefully flop this probatory evaluation when you're in dire need of a job? And what does your onboarding have to do With Emiliano's firing anyway, it doesn't make any sense. Yet it doesn't stop the man from begging even harder. Whew, you idiot. Do you not understand the kind of consequences this could have? This might just be a paycheck to you, but to me it could mean life or death. You've got to fail that test. Oh my god. This is beginning to sound less like a warning and more like a threat. And judging by the alcohol-tinged spittle splattering onto your cheek, it's not an especially sane one. Better cut this conversation short. Be blunt. Tell him you can't afford to flop this evaluation, no matter the consequences. Lie. Tell him you'll definitely fail the exam on purpose and move away slowly. This game feels more stressful than scary. In real, I can't pretend in games I can pick these options. Okay, I don't know which one to go for in this one. If you guys can pick one for me. I'll go work as a waitress instead. It sounds... Yeah, working as a waitress sounds a bit better than whatever this is going to be. I don't know what the pay is like, though. That kind of is quite important, too. This wine is actually quite nice. God, I really hate this angle of my face, you know. 1. Absolutely lie. Lie feels like the safer choice. Who knows what he might do? Fancy, you're in the minority. Okay. 2 it is then. With a condescending, comforting tone. Oh no. You promise to save the drunk man as you slink back from his mad gaze. You barely make it a single inch before Emiliano grabs your collar. Ropes of slobber paint your face as he begins to scream. Oh my. You think I'm stupid? You think I can't tell when someone's lying to me? You have no idea what consequences this could have for me. Your littlest screw-up could cost me my life. So do what I say and fail. You can't let them change me. You can't. Change you into what? The man shrieking turns sobbing, but his grip only grows more feral. His fingers curl like claws and move toward your face. You're unsure if he's about to grip your throat or gouge out your eyes. Whimpering, you call for someone to save you. Against all expectations, a booming voice actually answers. Mr. Aguilar, that's enough. Emiliano drops you instantly. His heels click as he turns to face whoever shouted, like a soldier awaiting inspection. In your peripheral vision, you see Melusine do the same, though her gesture is faster and much more practiced. You, meanwhile, are on all fours, gasping for air and gagging on the smell of ammoniac cleaner. Never has the taste of chemicals ever been so sweet. You turn to thank your savior, only to choke on your breath once more. Standing in front of the elevator is, without exaggeration, the most massive man you've ever seen. He's taller than a fridge, twice as wide, and perhaps thrice as heavy. The pure white of his immaculate dentistry contrasts with his dark skin, which reflects the room's dim light like finely chiseled onyx. Beneath the perfectly tailored patterns of his elegant tweed suit, muscles shift with every breath, threatening to burst through the seams. His pale blue eyes focus on you as he speaks with a voice like velvet thunder. Friend, you have my humblest apologies for my subordinate's inexcusable behavior. I'll be more than willing to discuss potential compensation if you deem it necessary, regardless of our interview's outcome. Interview, huh? This must be Mr. Burgard, your soon-to-be boss, luck willing. The ding of an elevator is suddenly heard, and one of the grillage doors by the reception desk creaks open. The tweed behemoth sidles his way into the shaft, packed tighter than tuna in a too small can. He beckons you to join him with a bratwurst thick finger. Come along now. We're already behind schedule and can't afford any more delays. What's more, I frankly cannot wait to discuss your future with us here at Smyrna Corp. He's gonna come back bitter once he knows the truth and kill us, though. Oh god, fancy picking to be a better person. I'm chaotic lawful. That makes no sense. You can't have chaotic lawful, fancy. Oh dear me, I just realised I haven't got it on the right chat. I might be missing some people's. Anyway. Holy, he thinks you have a future. In that moment, Mr. Burgard's big beaming smile is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Thank him and slip into the elevator. It's a tight fit, but you manage to wriggle yourself into the lift by nuzzling up to your, hopefully, future boss. You apologize profusely for the cramped conditions, but he just laughs it off. No need to be embarrassed. Happens all the time. Oh, and no need for all this Mr. Burgard business, either. First name basis is fine by me. Before the elevator door can snap shut, someone opens their mouth and screams. Oh yeah, wait! The angry-looking man you'd previously feared suddenly drops to his knees, hands held together as if in prayer. Any aura of danger that once clung to him has been dispelled by his blubbering supplication. Sir, I'm begging you, just give me another chance. I swear I'll do anything. Unpaid overtime. I'll work on weekends. I'll kiss your goddamn shoes if I have to. Just please don't replace me. Mr. Burgard's only reply is a disappointed sigh. His bright white smile wavers, and tangible contempt taints his otherwise welcoming tone. Mr. Aguilar, you've had more second chances than I can count, and displaying such undignified desperation in front of a candidate set to take over your position is not an endearing choice. Frankly, there's nothing more I can or want to do for you beyond offering the standard company-issued severance package. The once intimidating stranger collapses as though shot in the chest. His body ripples with hiccuping wails, his fists powerlessly pounding at the carpeted floor. Your maybe future boss clicks his tongue. More disappointed than disturbed, he turns to give Melusine a firm look and firmer orders. Miss Sans, please ensure our former staffer behaves until his offboarding is complete, will you? I'll attend to him once I'm done with our guest. The tired woman gives a nervous nod, rushing back to her typewriter as if nothing happened. The clacking keys are now punctuated by the tears of a grown man. Obia thumbs a few buttons, and the elevator doors finally slide shut. Through cracks in the grillage gates, you see the receptionist giving you a small wave, mouthing a worrisome farewell. Good luck. Before you can decide whether she was cheering you on or trying to warn you, the floor lurches downwards. Chapter complete. Proceed to the interview. Oh god, what is this gonna be like? I don't know what I am in real, but in games I am chaotic evil. Mr. Berger, my boyfriend says I'm chaotic good. Emiliano, just go work as a barista. I think in my server, what did I say? I said I think was it chaotic neutral trying to be no. Yeah, I think it was chaotic neutral trying to be neutral good. I think was what I said in my server. Based on what Raggedy shared. Lawful good people I don't think I get along with. They're all about rules and stuff, right? That makes me uncomfortable. I think neutral good was like, they try and help people regardless of whether it's, you know, goes against the rules or not, which I think is the most, I think that's the best way. So that's my goal in life, to get to that point where I'm a good person that will help someone in difficult circumstances. It's difficult though. I think being kind is the hardest thing for a human to be. Like, to achieve pure kindness is just like, it's up there, you know? Like, you have to be a monk or something. Emiliano needs to join AA by the sounds of it. Yeah, I agree. Emiliano, just go work as a barista. I feel like something horrible is going to happen to him in this debriefing interview. After descending a short way, the elevator slows to a crawl, then comes to a complete stop, groaning under the combined mass of its unevenly weighted passengers. For a moment, you worry that its cables have jammed. Clearing his throat, Mr. Burgard reaches over your shoulder and points to the lift's control panel. Would you do me the honor of entering our meeting room's access password? If you're going to be working here, you may as well learn how to travel across the office. Just type in that, if you please. Oh, and no need to be too brusque about it. Precision matters more than speed with these old doodads. Okay. What's it? Is that correct? The interviewer chuckles pleasantly as he watches you fiddle with the eclectic symbols, amused by your apparent unfamiliarity. No doubt he's you. What was it in the end, did I? Yeah, I did do it right. That's good. Amused by your apparent unfamiliarity. No doubt he's used to employees entering these combinations with the routine deftness of jaded shoppers, typing in their PIN numbers during credit card transactions. You're still not sure why he's making you type the password in, nor why the elevator uses passwords in the first place. Wouldn't keycards be easier, or normal numbers at least? I think that was the very first test, to be honest. Yeah. Regardless, as the last button clicks into place, the elevator resumes its descent at an increased momentum, plunging deep into the earth with no sign of it ever stopping. After almost 20 seconds, you wonder if it's headed for the planet's core. You'll have to beg my pardon for the sluggishness. I've petitioned to have this thing replaced, but the cryptology department refuses to let us invest in newer models. Potential security risks, or so they claim. Boogeyman hogwash, I say. An upgrade has been long overdue. Maybe once our deal with Radium finally goes through, they'll be moving more welcoming of true progress, huh? You nod along politely, pretending to understand what he means. You're uncertain the display looks convincing. Still, by the sounds of it, you'll be stuck here for a while. How do you kill time? Oh, here we go. I think the severance package is human deleting. Oh god. How did he even tell us those symbols verbally? You're so right. Give those elevator buttons a closer look. Ask Obia to explain his employee's unusual behavior. I think this is... He'll just lie to us anyway. We'll go for this one. Squinting at the control panel, you try making sense of the assorted icons decorating each key, trying to intuit the twisted logic linking them together. There must be some rationale informing the design of these peculiar passcodes. Am I supposed to press them? Like, what are we doing? No, I shouldn't press them because... Yeah. Unfortunately, the longer you look, the less you understand what the pi symbol and Greek omega have to do with any of those scribbles you've never seen before. The bout of mental gymnastics required to even attempt drawing a clear pattern leaves you with a nagging headache. At least you can remember the password Obia gave you. In the end, you're so focused on decoding the secret behind Smyrna Corp's buttons that you flinch upon hearing Burgard speak up. Is this supposed to be numbers? Like, no, I guess not. It's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but yeah, no. And then like the symbols. 0, I guess. So it would be 3, 4, 0, 9. Not that that means anything. In the end, you're so focused on decoding the secret behind Smyrna Corp's buttons that you flinch upon hearing Burgard speak up. I hope you're as excited for this interview as I am, friend. At the risk of sounding dramatically biased, I have very high expectations for you. Oh, God. The woman who recommended you for this position, your aunt, I believe, she had nothing but great things to say about you. Of course she did. She told me you were one of the most energetic, hardworking and punctual people she's ever met. An employee with such tremendous commitment to positive workplace values sounds like just the kind of addition to Smyrna Corp could use right now. You answered the giant's compliment with an awkward chuckle. Internally, however, you are screaming. Why did that woman have to lie about the one thing she knows that you're terrible at? Which is to say, making an effort? Was she trying to get you in trouble? Or is this her way of pressuring you into getting your shit together as soon as possible? Sorry, but you gotta lie about these things to get even an interview, so you know. As you force yourself to smile through an impending panic attack, the elevator comes to a grinding halt, its grillage door sliding open. Squeeze your way out of here. There's something satisfying about pressing those buttons, because it makes like such a booming thing. It's a bit of a battle to wriggle past Obuya, though you soon find yourself free of the claustrophobic lift and breathing a bit easier. Mr. Burgard follows suit, flipping a light switch to illuminate the otherwise pitch-black room. Welcome to my humble office. Ah, so that's what this place is. An office wouldn't have been your first guess. The rectangular space before you is reminiscent of an oversized police interrogation room. The walls are painted glossy black, glistening in the sepia glow of a low-hanging ceiling lamp. And if it weren't for the obvious two-way mirror in the back, the room would appear infinite in size, a boundless expanse of inky shadow extending in every direction. A single desk sits at the room's center, made from a block of carved mahogany. Coffee-stained paperwork covers its surface like some madman's wallpaper, and countless coloured wires sprawl across the floor as though the varnished wood has somehow sprung electrical roots. Leather chairs fit to dwarf royal thrones loom over both ends of the table, no doubt custom built to accommodate Mr. Burgard's colossal frame. The behemoth briskly motions for you to take a seat, but you sink so far into the plush leather it feels more like the seat takes you. On this side, there's an antique candlestick phone whose mouthpiece is made to look like a large roasting bat. There's an old-fashioned record player adorned with a gaudily gilded Smyrna Corp logo. Right in front of you, there's a nameplate engraved with the words Obuya Burgard, Senior Substitution Department Supervisor. And scattered all over the place, there are piles of VHS cassettes, each one labelled with tags written in Latin, Farsi, or Ancient Greek. Interesting. The item which perplexes you the most, however, is an old vinyl record snugly wrapped in yellow keep-out tape. Mr. Burgard notes your interest with an amused arch of his brow. You wouldn't happen to be a fan of jazz, would you? Absolutely, I love jazz. It just is such a I need this job sentence. Not really, if I'm being honest. If you're trying to go for the I'm really honest thing, that usually doesn't work, then, this is the answer to go for. I don't want to be a suck up though. Oh. Farsi is Iranian Persian. Oh, I was wondering what it was. I don't know which to go for. I don't think saying that when it comes to interviews and things, or when I want to make a good impression, I do tend to say the things that the other person wants me to say. Yeah, no, I get that. I was thinking, what if you pick that and then he asks questions about jazz and you're like, I just like the sound of it. I'm gonna go for absolutely love jazz. Not really, if I'm being honest. It's no. Obia's smile can grow no bigger, but it certainly shines brighter upon hearing your enthusiastic answer. Well then, I'm quite excited to find out what a fellow connoisseur will think of this particular I feel like neither answer was the correct one. Usually just choose what's true to myself. I try, but like I really struggle to do that, like picking the one that's very me, because I don't know what I'd do in that situation. Or like I'm like, but in this situation I'd do that, but in this other situation I do. Do you see what I mean? I get really confused. We might as well continue to lie. Carefully placing the confidential vinyl onto an old record player, Mr. Burgard lowers the needle and bids you to listen. A strange, somber soundscape slowly fills the office with a blues-like rhythm you can't quite compare to anything you've heard before. It's not appalling per se, but it's perhaps a little messy and eerie enough to make you uncomfortable. The duet voices of a man and woman muttering warbled lyrics only adds to the strangeness. You can't make out a word they're saying, except for the chorus verse, let's call the whole thing off. Gina and Herschel Gershwin, twins if you're wondering, not a couple despite all the turbulent rumours that once surrounded their odd relationship. I've never met them myself, but I do know they could have been bigger than the Beatles back in the band's heyday. The biggest case of my career was making sure they wouldn't be, and I always found it tragic that only one of their records was left intact in the world, though I also feel quite lucky to be the man who owns it. Few will ever have the privilege of hearing such avant-garde work. You utter a few admirative oohs and ahs, feigning interest to conceal your perplexity. What does a human resource company have to do with ruining musicians' careers? And how could Obiya be employed, let alone alive, during the birth years of rock and roll? He's not that old, is he? Interesting work. Before you can scrutinize the man's non-existent wrinkles, he promptly clears the stray documents from his desk, making space for a repulsively familiar sheet of paper. Your loathsome resume, laid bare for the world to gawk at. God, you're sick of seeing that thing. Obuya interlaces his fingers, pale eyes darkening into a severe stare. You suddenly find yourself keenly aware of just how dangerous the man could be, should he choose to embrace violence over verbal repartee. Time to begin our little interview. I'll be asking you a series of questions. Some will appear rather peculiar, others rather innocuous. They may be difficult to answer at times, as you've not been made fully aware of your position nor of Smyrna Corp's company goals. However, I still request that you provide honest and instinctive responses. Regardless of context, they'll give us a better idea of the roles you'll best be assigned to during your time among us. Wait, you have to ace an interview before being told about the job you're applying for? What a mess. Either Smyrna Corp has an unintuitive hiring process, or their non-disclosure agreements are so incestuously interwoven no one can get any work done without being strangled to death by red tape. Still, Obuya's words make one thing clear. The only way you'll get hired and earn a salary to pay the rent you owe is by acing this goddamn interview, no matter what it takes. Give a firm nod and reassure him you'll be earnest. Give a non-committal answer knowing you'll lie to make yourself seem employable. I'll pick that. I would continue to lie. It's a game. Pick the scandalous. I struggled to do that, Liz. Oh no, he's the devil making deals with rock and roll stars. Ubuya chortles with satisfaction. The sound is deep and rumbling as a rock slide at the bottom of a well. Wonderful, let's get started. Question 1. A runaway locomotive is barreling down a set of railroad tracks at uncontrollable speeds. In its path lay 5 people. Oh, it's that dilemma thing, isn't it? Tied down and unable to move. If nothing is done, the locomotive will surely crush them and end their lives in an instant. You stand in a train yard next to a large lever. You know that if you pull it, the locomotive will divert its course onto a separate track. However, this will cause it to crush a different person who's also tied down to this alternate path. How do you ensure all 6 people escape this tragedy alive? Well, that's not quite the where do you see yourself in 5 years shtick you're used to. How the hell are you supposed to respond? Oh, I love these kind of questions at interviews though. They're like the best ones. Assuming you can operate that lever, you might also know how to remotely trigger the emergency brakes. You run fast and have deft hands until everyone before the train arrives. Dodge the question by discussing other ethical conundrums and how they expose moral. I'm gonna go for the first one, but it just makes me laugh. You're not exactly the foremost authority on train yard technological advances, but you're pretty sure conductors have developed multiple automated and manual fail-safes specifically to prevent cartoonish catastrophes like this one. If not, you have $1 million idea to pitch. That's an impressively refreshing answer, although, to be candid, many representatives in other departments would strongly disagree with your technology-based solution. Dang, I should have noticed all those typewriters, am I right? The tweed behemoth gesticulates towards the yellowing documents strewn about his desk, and the baubles at its corners. All of them appear ancient enough to have been stolen from an unsuspecting museum's shelves. I wonder what would happen if we dodged the question. That was my second choice, probably. Maybe they would have preferred that, but also it seems like the one everyone probably would have gone for. Smyrna Corp was built upon the ideal that humankind's potential must not become entrapped by progress' false promise of privacy. Efficiency is no excuse to discard anonymous practicality. That's a lot of words. Our old hat philosophies and reliance on archaic devices have kept this company on the path to success for decades, but the world is changing and we cannot remain blind to additional insights technology can provide. After all, how can we think outside the box if we lack the tools to grasp how big the box has become, especially in our ever so chaotic digital era? You're not quite sure how to respond to that, let alone how it applies to human resources. But you still manage to stem out some words of agreement, which hopefully imply you are thinking the same thing. Now, moving right along to question 2. Could you kindly rephrase your greatest flaw so that it sounds like your greatest strength? This is a boring question that you know what to say because of the research you've done prior to the interview. Be advised, I do not want to hear any of that cowardly, I'm too much of a perfectionist, or I'm a huge workaholic. Yeah, those are the... I remember reading that those are the ones that everyone goes for, so you don't want to go for those. Claptrap most folk use to make themselves sound flawless. I want a proper, blameworthy weakness reconfigured into a proper, praiseworthy strength. Understood? The behemoth leans forward and the room's darkness looms with him, both closed in around you like the walls of a solitary confinement cell or the rope of an eager hangman's noose, there to think of something good. I'm so glad that these aren't timed ones. You know how some games give you a timing and you're like the pressure and you're like, oh my god. Saying that, if they added that to this, it might add some realism to it, even more so. You browse social media during work hours, but it keeps you updated on current events and tech trends. Definitely not that one. You spend too much time chatting with co-workers, but it helps you understand them and cooperate effectively. You often try solving problems with brawn, not brains, but you're in great shape, so it works out. I think I'll go for the middle one. Any war waged with unmastered weapons is doomed to fail. Sun Tzu said that. You think, or maybe it was World War I general, or the hero from those kung fu movies you watched as a teen. Point is, swapping gossip doesn't just provide drama, it also reveals what your teammates are truly capable of. That, I must confess, is an exceptional response. To work at Smyrna Corp is to plunge into the very fabric of human psychology and unravel every thread of it on a daily basis. Understanding who people are, their wants, needs, aspirations, is integral to helping them become the people that they should be, and no one can achieve such understanding by working alone. Therefore, extending that same level of consideration to one's colleagues is an extremely wise initiative to augment our efficiency. Impressive stuff for a new recruit. I guess we picked the right answer. The man gestures with theatrical flourishes as he makes the declaration, but his conviction sounds too genuine to come off as arrogant. You conceal a satisfied grin, picturing how spectacular the man's water cooler small talk must be. Now then, onward to our final inquiry. Regarding your schooling, I would like for you to, well, if you could just explain the goodness, how do I phrase this delicately? Well, our grade's really awful or something. The behemoth's words trail into muttered mumbles, his velvet thunder voice degrading into something more akin to a bumblebee stuck in a big dog's mouth. His blue eyes dart between you and the paper's underwhelming bullet points with increasingly disgusted concern, as though finally noticing what kind of unemployable aberration has stepped into this building. It's an unfortunately common reaction for anyone who reads your CV. The singers on the record player shout a loud suggestion to just call the whole thing off. Their advice, for better or worse, goes utterly unheeded. Can I see that face? Well, at the risk of sounding insensitive, I truly appreciate some insight regarding your academic background. How do you believe a workplace of our nature could benefit from hiring someone with such a dubiously incompatible education? You begin sweating bullets, big bullets, the kind of caliber robot cops must use in action movies from the 80s. Of course it was going to come down to this. No matter how dearly you wish it were possible, you can't magically go back in time and study something with greater potential in today's job market. But you might be able to describe your weird diploma in a way that makes a strikingly employable impression. You studied computer science, you're skilled with technologies old and new and dabble in programming. You studied ultimate frisbee, the apex field of education for any teamwork-driven athletic superstar. You studied child psychology. You're good at reading people and creating emotional rapports. Definitely that one. You're unsure what kind of services Smyrna Corp really offers, but there's no doubt social sciences could come in handy with human resources. By honing your communication skills and providing extra insight into people's personality quirks, your schooling should prove useful in dealing with difficult clients and co-workers. You discuss some of the intricacies of your most memorable seminars, specifically those concerning mental development and lingering infant trauma known to emerge decades later. Examples of how early experiences inform otherwise incoherent attitude among grown adults. Mr. Burgard's concern mellows into curiosity with every passing explanation. Then, as your story concludes, he regards you with outright admiration. I cannot even begin to explain how often our Smyrna Corp representatives fail to consider the significance of formative experiences when it comes to mapping out an individual's psyche. Childhood memories are oft overlooked, yet integral in determining the root cause of a client's wants, fears, or failings, and in our most extreme cases, identifying those root causes is utterly essential to succeed. The fact you have such a thoughtful and informed perspective before starting your first day no less is truly, truly incredible. Correcting human behavior is a complicated, multi-layered process, but your pre-existing awareness of that fact will be a major asset. Okay, looks like we've answered a couple of the questions correctly. His flattery sends swarms of butterflies fluttering about your stomach. It's been a while since you've last received such a compliment, yet alone felt actual pride in yourself, as opposed to the usual undercurrent of exhausted shame. Ironically, a therapist would likely have questions for you about that. Anywho, I believe that concludes our questionnaire for today. As for your results... Oh no. Moment of truth. The man's enormous fingers crumple your CV into a ball and toss it aside. It bounces across the wire-laden floor, disappearing into an inky corner of the abyssal room. Your chest tightens, panic swells. Catastrophic scenarios and thoughts of crushing failure explode throughout your head. Ubuya's beaming smile diffuses them all. I mean, it's kind of a win-win situation. If we don't get the job, then the guy is like, at least that crazy guy at least is saved or whatever. If we get the job, we get the job. So it's a win-win, right? To tell you the truth, this little meeting of ours was nothing more than a corporate mandated formality. Between your aunt's glowing recommendation and the fact that you showed up to our offices on such short notice, I knew from the very start that I'd be wanting you on board. After this discussion, I'm pleased to announce that my hunch has been confirmed, and I am most pleased to be extending you a permanent employment offer. He's clearly mocking you. Pinch yourself and awaken from this embarrassing dream. Hang on, you actually want to hire me? You can't say that. The pinch hurts, but nothing more. Mr. Burgard clears his throat, and the baritone of his next word is like a serenade from reality, finally acknowledging you as an honest guest. No need to look so bewildered. It can't be the first time someone's been impressed by your skills. Our exchange has revealed to me that you are an individual of exceptional interpersonal acuity. A sharp mind with an even sharper intuition, honed by keen intelligence and earnest empathy. I wouldn't be surprised to learn you're skilled at talking yourself out of trouble, or persuading folks to see things your way, regardless of where the truth may lie. Of course, I've no doubt you'll face scenarios where social deduction and charisma will prove insufficient, but I see a bright future for you at Smyrna Corp, managing our most prestigious and precarious operations. So, would you deem my interpretation of your aptitudes accurate, or have I misconstrued the content of your character? Wow, he's like totally complimenting us. Wonder if they would actually accept anyone. Yeah, I wonder. Like, is there a game over? If you pick all the wrong answers, then oops. Start from the beginning. I don't think that paints an accurate portrait of my skills. You're 100% on point. That's exactly the kind of person I am. Obviously going for that one. Flattered by Obuya's appraisal, you relish in the satisfaction of having been truly seen. It's not every day you get such a precise, quantifiable breakdown of your own unique abilities. May they serve you well in tackling the horrors to come. Good to know, very good indeed. In that case, I'll nudge administration to start producing a contract and non-disclosure agreement. I'll unfortunately have to remain cagey about some workplace details, like your tasks or starting salary, until all the legal hoopla has been sorted. But assuming you care to accept a generous starting offer... Mr. Burgard's chuckling deepens as he extends a massive hand. His blue eyes are bright with joy. His tongue runs over his pure white teeth like a carnivore licking his chops. Please allow me to informally welcome you as the newest member of Smyrna Corp. I look forward to reviewing your performance. Holy, it's actually happening. You're going to have a job. You're going to have money. Enough of it to pay rent, keep a roof over your head, eat food, anything. Fight the urge to cry and shake Mr. Burgard's hand. Let a few tears flow and tell him just how grateful you are. Just take this one. You cannot help but sniffle as you extend your hand, eyesight blurred by tears of sheer relief. Yet even through that weeping haze, you can still see the behemoth's grin, spreading like a bird's unfurling wings. More specifically, those of a I've never seen that word before. Rapacious buzzard, diving in to snatch a rodent with razor-sharp talons. Instincts urge you to pull away, but the behemoth's pounce comes too quickly. Before you can possibly react, your entire hand is engulfed within a fist the size of a ripe cantaloupe. Oh. Almost instantly, something begins feeling terribly, terribly wrong. Despite Mr. Burgard's pure white smile, it feels as though your new boss is trying to leave you crippled from the wrist down. But all that pain is nothing next to the sharp, stabbing agony suddenly shooting through your palm. Oh my god, it's getting a bit creepy. What is this? We'll get money? That's insane. Kennedy. Oh, I totally missed what happened. Knuckles crunch, folding in on each other. Metacarpals squeak and whine. Articular cartilage between them both crumble into collagen sand. But all that pain is nothing next to the sharp stabbing agony suddenly shooting through your palm. You cry out in pain, beg Burgard to let you go. Fight to pry your fingers free, but the tweed giant's grip is iron, unflinching, deaf to your complaints. If anything, he squeezes harder. Oh, it's my dog. The needle point pain inside your hand sinks in even deeper. Deep enough for you to think it might pierce the whole way through. Deep enough for you to wonder if it could somehow kill you. Your jaw unhinges, let out a scream. There's that noise as well. Before a single sound comes through, Mr. Burgard lets you go free with an innocent sounding oops. Dearie me, I was a tad too firm there, wasn't I? Beg pardon, friend. I tend to forget my own strength sometimes. The giant chuckles as if nothing happened. You force yourself to chuckle back, but the laughter takes tremendous effort. It's hard to buy his excuse, no matter how believable it may be. Panicked, you palpate your palm and numbed fingers, searching for any scars left by the thing that was drilling through your flesh. But there is no wound, no torn skin, no deep cuts, not even mild bruising. You don't even feel the pain anymore. All you find is a single bead of bright red blood, no bigger than a pinhead. Where did that come from? You wipe it away, frantic, desperate to see what lurks beneath. It is warm to the touch and leaves a scarlet smear across your skin, like a painter's brush. If there's no sign of where the paint has come from, no wound, no scar. There could be some faint swelling, but it's faint enough to make you suspect the bulge isn't really there. Did he break our hand? Huh? Some kind of mark was made? Yeah, I wonder. Was there like a little blade in his hand or something? Maybe, just maybe, it was all in your head. Where's my dog? Bertie! What are you doing? Come! Good boy, you stay there, okay? Alright, he wants to sit on the sofa. Give me a moment. Okay, you can sit here. How about that? Go on. Good boy. Lie there, okay? Okay. Cool. Parasite injected. Oh god, no. Oh god, I've lost my oh, there we go. Maybe, just maybe, it was all in your head. There's no wound. Is this someone else's blood? Investigate that swelling, no matter how paranoid it may be. That one. You risk a furtive glance at the behemoth's hand, hoping to find a clue on his skin. Before you're sure you've spotted something, a clatter interrupts you. From one of his desk's drawers, Mr. Burgard withdraws a slab of metal the size of a stovetop. At first, you assume it's a tablet device, custom built to fit the tweed giant's fingers and resist their vice-like strength, or perhaps a turntable meant for an aspiring DJ, painted in drab colours. A closer look reveals something older and chunkier, made of grey aluminium and solid beige plastic. Blinking buttons, flickable switches, knobs and sliders of all kinds decorate its crowded surface with a cluttered interface too complex to grasp at a glance. Despite your fondness for outdated tech, you cannot tell what kind of machine this is, nor what purpose it's meant to serve. Your best guess is an old movie prop stolen from the studio set of a sci-fi film from the 1950s, and not necessarily a good sci-fi film. Mr. Burgard bends over to grab heaping handfuls of wires off the messy floor. Seemingly at random, he sorts through dozens of them at a time, plugging only a paltry few into the device's outlets. Okay, my dog now wants to go out of my room, even though he managed to come in himself. Go on, buddy. Having pets, eh? Bertie tail? Tails? Did you? I didn't notice that you saw him. That's so funny. Mr. Blah. Okay, cool. Now that the pleasantries are finally done with, I suggest we proceed to the evaluation portion of our exchange. Oh god, what does that entail, hey? Aha, you're wondering when you'd be getting to that part. The behemoth appears taken aback by your expectant nod, but is even more surprised by the nervousness your lousy poker face can't conceal. Though you were told to expect a test, you were also warned to be wary, and you're not particularly excited to find out what the machine has to do with it. Come now, no need to get so agitated. I've already agreed to hire you. It's not like I'll be terminating your employment before you even attempt a peer review. The format of this evaluation will be similar to our open-ended interview questionnaire. The difference is that this time I'll be presenting intentionally confusing scenarios that most Smyrna Corp employees might encounter during their day-to-day tasks. Your goal is to present solutions to each particular problem as you deem appropriate, regardless of how unconventional the suggestion may seem. Yet again, there are no wrong answers, but I will tally your responses to determine how much supervision you'll require during onboarding. I bet these are going to be like really creepy and messed up. In other words, I once more encourage honesty over making a good impression, for both our sakes. Okay, this part I will be honest then. It sounds like, you know, if we pretend we're good in this part, we'll suffer later on. We're already hired, right? When I Google Inhuman Resources, it gives me only some series. You have to put Steam or something in it, or visual novel, or yeah. The behemoth flicks a larger switch upon his instrument's dashboard. A low droning, palpable hum fills the shadowy room. The lone light bulb hanging above you flickers, then goes dark, bathing the already dim room in nigh absolute blackness. Only the device's glowing buttons reflected in a two-way mirror provide you with any light. Shall we get started? Let's call the whole thing off, the record player begs you, over and over again. It seems to be stuck in place and skipping a few beats. Unfortunately, your body is also stuck in place, petrified in your plush chair, and your heart is skipping a few beats more. You give your sore hand a tight squeeze and hope the throbbing pain will stop soon. Brace yourself and agree to begin. Ask him for more information, no matter how limited. I don't think he's going to give us much information. He'll get impatient, so we'll pick this one. Also, I am now a little bit tipsy because of the wine. I've only drunk this much. I guess I didn't really eat anything starchy today. It's not out yet. We are playing a demo. Yeah, it's for visual novel Steam Fest, I think. So that's why I'm kind of showing it. Mr. Burgard chuckles, his teeth so white they almost glow in the dark. You hear him whisper a single word with a deep, bassy growl. Perfect. Your new boss's bratwurst thick fingers push one of the machine's sliders to its absolute limit. The room's bassy hum increases in pitch and frequency. Now then, I'll start you off with an easy one. Let's say, hypothetically, that you're supervising a group of employees from a different company. They hired you to isolate the source of their decreased productivity, then remedy the issue, and it does not take long for you to identify the problem. One of their staff members is extremely troublesome. The giant pauses, uttering a t of irritation. It seems he wasn't supposed to specify this mystery employee's gender. When he speaks again, he enunciates slowly with more careful consideration. Okay, let's see. Let me properly read that in my mind. Right, okay. This hypothetical individual has an undeniably inadequate productivity level, where he's probably talking about that drunk guy. They never meet bare minimum expectations, they lack punctuality, disrespect their colleagues, browse unsavory websites with company property, instead of dedicating their limited work hours to completing overdue urgent paperwork. Their misconduct is continuous and condemnable. The employee has been given multiple warnings and provided with opportunities to improve their performance. Both have either failed or been ignored. The client is contemplating firing the problem staffer, but are concerned that becoming understaffed during an especially critical moment of the fiscal quarter could jeopardize their important deadlines. What do you think should be done to reestablish the client's baseline productivity? Right, okay. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment. I was just hoping to read some discussions, reviews on the game, but it looks like it's super fresh. Yeah, very, very fresh. I think they just literally got it out recently for the Steam Fest. It took you so long to find a job. Firing someone would make you sick. Give them one more chance. Wrong answer. This person should be laid off. Regardless of deadlines, they harm more than they help. Install software on their computer that limits access to non-work websites. Talk with this person to understand the root issues behind their poor behavior. Well, they've been given several chances. The ideal situation would be obviously to find someone before firing him. To be honest, it sounds like he's doing a shit job anyway, so firing him won't really make any difference. Oh, this is hard. This is a nice thing to do, but let's face it, companies that do nice things often don't quite succeed as well as... I know that sounds really bad, but... In all fairness, if he's constantly screwing up, he is reaping what he sowed, if you know what I mean. I thought it's already decided, but yeah, they're trying to... I love it how I'm overthinking this fictional world, but I think the boss is trying to see if the values of this main character align with his, because his decision was to fire him. So by answering this question, you're confirming his, whether, you know, they're aligning or not. That's my guess. But I don't know whether these are better in that because you pick these, it'll give you like a more interesting response, or he'll be like, oh, that's refreshing. Perhaps that's something to consider in the future, and we only can do that with you on the team. So pay rise. Yeah, by his description, this person should be fired. Like, just not to be mean or anything, but I'll pick this one though. It seems like it will be interesting. Citing some psychiatric principles you learned during internships, you explain the employee may be enacting forms of self-regulation to cope with stress. Severe triggering employment-based anxieties could be their reason for lashing out. Creating a safer, more communicative workplace could prevent future incidents. I don't think that was a good answer, but okay. As your nervous explanation begins delving into the more technical aspects of addressing trauma, you start losing track of your own argument. However, Mr. Burgard remains very satisfied by your convoluted suggestion. Okay, cool. I knew your studies in formative psychology would prove useful. Even our most experienced technicians could benefit from your level of consideration. If one intends to map out the architecture of a complex adult mind, one must first start at the foundations set in childhood. Failing to do so only grants an incomplete picture of the person you are trying to change, and leads to flawed interpretations of the necessary corrections. The fact you already take into account potential childhood trauma tells me you understand this well. Thus, I predict minimal corrective oversight will be necessary when performing your first surgical override or psychological reconditioning. Jolly good stuff. The giant hums joyfully, fingers tap dancing across the buttons of his device with a series of distinctive clicks. Hang on though, did he just say you'd be performing surgery? Oh my god. Maybe this is their way of figuring out what you should be doing as, like, your job, and that's why they haven't told us yet. Oh, good choice it seems. It seems it, but hard to say. Orbia completes his complex mechanical operation with a flourish of flashing lights and a sequence of high-pitched beeping. The machine's noises are loud, but not startling, not compared to the other sound. Oh god. Here we go. I love it when it goes dark, because it's like, oh, something juicy is happening. It's faint at first, muffled, maybe distant. Subtle enough to make you wonder if it's part of the record player's tune, but the longer you listen, the more unmistakable it becomes. Someone, somewhere is screaming. Your nails dig into the armrests of your overlarge leather seat. Your eyes dart about the room, searching for the noise's source before landing on two-way mirror and your own aghast reflection. It's coming from across the glass. You hold your breath and wait for the screen to rise up again, but there is only the record player's music. Music and the white noise buzz of Burgard's machine as he hums you back to attention. If you're in need of a restroom, I can point you in the right direction. Otherwise, I'd ask you to please complete this evaluation with a smidge less fidgeting. It negatively impacts our tool's acoustics, you see. It's like he didn't even hear it. Was the scream inside your head, just like the pain in your hand from before? Or maybe... Massage your blood-stained palm and pretend nothing happened. Ask Mr. Burgard if he heard that person shouting too. He told us to stop fidgeting. We'll go for this. The behemoth sighs in irritation, his friendly facade fading for a frightening split second as he states the seemingly obvious. Of course I heard it. Now pay attention, this is important. Uh-oh. Okay, we picked the wrong choice, it seems. Orbia flips another switch. The room's buzzing shifts into a frequency so oddly low, you feel it sending ripples through your organs. The giant gestures your way with steepled fingers, further disturbing your unsettled guts. Now, let's say, still hypothetically speaking, that our problem employee has a more specific shortcoming. He is utterly unwilling to cooperate with one of his co-workers. Perhaps it's a matter of long-standing interpersonal friction originating from external sources. Maybe there's an irreconcilable difference between them in terms of moral, political, or religious beliefs. Regardless of the exact circumstances, our floundering staffer has proven themselves incapable of playing nice with their high-performing teammate. This has resulted in a severe decline in both their productivity levels. No, we cannot relocate the problem employee to a new department, nor displace their high-performing partner. How do we ensure the former collaborates with the latter, despite the deeply rooted discord between them? Okay. I love this. Ultimate frisbee specialization. Oh, dear me. Wow, we're totally throwing our predecessor under the bus. I know, right? That screaming probably was coming from that guy from earlier. How much? Okay, I've been streaming for 2 hours. Just because someone performs well doesn't make them innocent. Maybe the bad employee is being sabotaged. Success should be rewarded and failure punished. Fire the problem employee. Principles are learned, not inherent. Teach them new values better suited to a workplace. Hang on. You did hear that? Then what the hell was it? Oh no, that is not it. This is very much like, that sounds all very nice, but the reality is that's not how it works. Like in Japan, we say kiregoto, which is like pretty words, where, you know, it's like you can say all of these nice words that seemingly makes the situation fine or what you're doing fine and sounds very like heroic, when in actual fact it's kind of like, yeah, but it's not realistic. It's a bit like that. These are difficult. I don't know. I wish we had ultimate frisbee specialization. I'd be curious what the answer to that would be as well. I feel like this is the right answer though. I think. Your mind drifts to extreme rehabilitation scenarios, far-right neo-Nazis mellowed out through exposure to inclusive media, violent teens overcoming aggression through extensive therapy. They're not quick or cheap solutions, but they do prove people can overwrite old behaviors with new compassionate values. Your new boss' bright white smile twinkles with tremendous satisfaction. He tweaks his device's knobs with giddy abandon. I guess it's the whole utilizing your skills that you've added to your CV and he seemed happy with to your advantage. You're absolutely right. Too often do we believe people act in certain ways by default, as though personality or upbringing were immutable entities. But psychologically speaking, not only can anyone become anything, they can be made to become anything through tactical exposure to new perspectives. Individuals are the sum total of the environments and ideas they have been exposed to. Thus, adding or subtracting experiences from that human equation alters the result. Unfortunately, there are times when the only solution is to erase every belief a person holds dear and start over from nothing. But that's just part of the job description. We wouldn't be offering such competitive salaries if designing boutique psychological profiles were easy. Before you can ask the interviewer what the hell he means, another sound reaches your ears. It's not a person's scream this time, but neither is it vinyl's tune, nor a machine's hum. Rather, it resembles a dull, wet, rhythmic thud. Once, twice, thrice, you hear it, a little louder every time. Your eyes dart about the room, looking for the noise's source. You find it staring back at you from across the two-way mirror. Oh, here we go. You see the handprint of a blood-stained palm slapping against the looking glass, begging to be let out. Oh my! Oh, this is good. Your mouth goes dry. See, if there was a really terrifying image that... Actually, I wouldn't like it because I hate jump scares. But, you know, that would add to the effect, wouldn't it? Your mouth goes dry as it hangs open. Your finger shakes as you start to point. Then, without word of warning, the thudding suddenly stops. All that remains is silence and a message written in scarlet smears, a cry for help no one can answer. Aguilar looks over his shoulder, seeing the red stain. You wait for him to react, to gasp, or even scream. All he does is harumph at it, annoyed. I really need to put more pressure on that janitor. The soundproofing in here has been unacceptable as of late. He's so casual about it. Oh god. With more grouchy grumbling, he tweaks a couple of his device's knobs as if nothing happened. Then, noticing your aghast face for the very first time, he furrows his expression, not with concern, but confusion. Is something the matter? Shake your head. You must be hallucinating. What's going on back there? What kind of evaluation is this? I think I'll go for... We need this job, guys! You wipe the sweat from your brow and try to control your breathing. You tell Mr. Burgard it must be the air down here, making you lightheaded. It feels like you keep seeing things, but none of this can be real. It can't be. Ah, wonderful. I'm thrilled you're willing to be so cooperative despite these distractions. Now, regarding the conclusion of our conjectural conundrum. Let's say, and I cannot stress this enough, that our aforementioned stuff is hypothetically assigned to contain a major data breach, one with consequences that could spell disaster for their company and co-workers alike. The sensitive nature of this task requires them to exterminate or indefinitely debilitate any individuals who have witnessed this leaked information so that they become incapable of further dissemination. In this case, the information has only been accessed by two people, the employee's spouse and their prepuce, oh my god, previous and offspring. Oh no, and then they're asked to eliminate their wife and their child? Needless to say, our employee is reluctant to perform their duty and exterminate these individuals. However, if either family member remains alive, the company stands to lose everything. Furthermore, should they refuse to tie up these proverbial loose ends, you will be required to do so in their place, as outlined in your Smyrna, I always call it Smyrna Corp. As outlined in your Smyrna Corp contract. In short, how do you ensure these targets perish as intended, and that this data breach remains contained regardless of this problematic employee's hesitation? Oh, dear Lord. Beg the employee to go through with it. Killing those two people could save hundreds. No one should kill their family to bury company secrets. There has to be a better way. That is the morally correct answer. That is the correct answer. Lovely. I know, right, Kennedy? What do we do? I don't actually know how much more of this demo there is. Because it's been 2 hours and I'm like, I'll play for another like 20 minutes maybe. I'm gonna go with the right one. Or the one that seems like the right one. Yeah, killing is a bit of an overkill. It's the only way, clearly. Oh god, I hate this so much. You don't want to force someone to become a murderer, but you don't want to be the reason dozens of innocent people died instead. Arguing in favor of some non-existent greater good, you blubber that you'd make the employee to kill his family, no matter what it takes. Credit where credit is due. You understand what needs to be done and are willing to do it. In terms of practical suggestions, however, your response is sorely lacking. I'm afraid I'll have to deduct points for lack of foresight, and a few more for allowing moral concerns to interfere with your analysis. Most of all, however, I'm disappointed that you'd resort to such an obvious solution when just moments earlier you were able to offer a creative, bloodless alternative to my locomotive conundrum. Such inconsistency reflects poorly on you. Wow, okay, we're really screwed up. You open your mouth to protest, ready to claim this hypothetical scenario about killing a few people to save many is nothing like the trolley problem, but you don't make it very far before the weight of your hypocrisy hits you like a ton of bricks. Oh no, not that noise. As your head hangs low with shame, your manager's expression shifts. The strange machine before him warbles, its monitor finally displaying your evaluation's tallied results. Well, this is a genuinely impressive score. I had high hopes for you, but this exceeds even those anticipations by considerable leaps and bounds. Most of our employees need months, if not years of training to properly optimize our procedures while foregoing all ethical concerns. For you to demonstrate such dispassionate concern for efficiency above all else, without need for orienteering, that tells me you're destined to accomplish great, terrible things at this company. Why, I barely had to make adjustments to your doppelganger engineering suggestions. Doppelganger? Unfazed by your panic or bafflement, Mr. Burgard reaches for a nearby candlestick phone. The mouthpiece, realistically macabre roosting bat design, makes it seem like he's clutching a live pipistrelle and shoving it against the cavern that is his giant mouth. We're done here, Miss Sands. You can show them now. On the other end of the line, a reply is chirped. Obiya hands you the phone and motions you to listen in. His pure white smile looks wide enough to tear his cheeks at the seams. Oh, what is going on? He is overhyping us too much. Sus. I feel like we couldn't choose a good one here as we were missing those cards. Yeah, I think so too. That's the feeling I got as well. But maybe the other one, he would have been like, oh, at least it's a bit different. I don't know. But we've got it, I guess. You gingerly seize the occult antique. It takes you a few tries to figure out how the winged mammal is meant to be held, and even longer to hold the earpiece to your head. By the time you figured it out, you wish that you hadn't. The two-way glass at the back suddenly turns transparent, revealing yet another room filled with aesthetic contradictions and logical anomalies. Your first urge is to scream, but your voice makes no sound. Perhaps your cries are deafened by whatever the hell is going on. You want to look away, but you can't even blink. There's just too much to take in. Oh dear God, okay, let's see what happens. There's the patients themselves. They almost look like twins. Both have been tied down with belts to their respective surgical tables. Both are men with tan skin, furrowed brows, and bloodshot stares. Both have the tops of their heads partially concealed by curtains where the surgeon's silhouette prod their scalps with forceps. Am I supposed to be able to read that? Oh, okay. Dear God, without anesthetic as well. Only one of them is screaming, as though death would be a mercy. There's the surgeon's tools. Blood-stained aprons hang from the wooden coat racks, while stainless steel surgical trays contain an assortment of gruesome devices, bone saws, hand cranks, drills, and strangely hairy bone-white bowls glistening with dark red. Your stomach gurgles upon realizing they are the sliced-up tops of human skulls. Dear Lord, this is getting interesting, would be the best way to describe it. There's a television hanging from the ceiling. Boxy Technicolor units have been suspended above each patient's head, their crackling screens blasting with an unrelenting montage of childhood videotape footage, warbled ECG readouts, brain scans, and news network broadcasts. Each man's eyelids are held open by metallic speculums, denying them the privilege of looking away. And there's the woman taking notes. She stands with her back to you, jotting down observations on a clipboard as she studies each victim's distinct reactions. Though her shoulders are shaking, she writes with a steady hand. Ooh, this is getting juicy. The muffled sounds of saws slicing through bone threaten to make you throw up, but instead you feel your heart sink deep into that pit of nausea and realize something truly chilling. You recognize two of the people in that room. I'm guessing one is the drunk. Look more closely at the patient that's screaming. Look more closely at the clipboard-wielding lady. This is going to be the drunk guy, and that's going to be Sansen, or whatever her name is. If this game has sanity points, then, and if those sanity points are too high, and then that results in a bad ending, I think the right is probably the better answer. Juicy, Luli says, it's fiction. The worse, the better, is what I always say. As if sensing your stare through the glass, the woman turns around. The details of her appearance leap out one at a time, making the pit in your stomach sink deeper. A black turtleneck, a hair bun, a tight smile spread too wide, exhausted eyes bulging and bloodshot, pupils shrunk to tiny pinpricks, melusine. After Emiliano attacked you, you believed the man was insane, but now, watching that receptionist smile without blinking, tears brimming in her eyes, and bloodstains wetting her clothes, Aguilar's mental breakdown makes more sense to you than ever. As if to prove your point, the loudest of the two patients scream at you for help. You, please, tell them I'll change, tell them I'll do better, just don't let them replace me. Melusine, I'm begging you, you can't do this to me, I have a His words are cut off by gurgling spasms, eyes rolling back into their sockets as the surgeon's silhouette behind him cuts something inside his head. Blood and brain matter splatters the curtain, hiding the worst of the scene, but sounds of squelching meat and bone still carry over the receiver. Yet it's the other, calmer patient's voice that truly makes you nauseous. He doesn't just look like Emiliano, he sounds like him. Exactly like him. You, please tell them I'll change, tell them I'll do better, just don't let them replace me. The lookalike's face remains impassive even as his exposed brain is prodded at with a hand-cranked drill, yet the imitation of his neighbour's blood-curdling cries is perfect. Every nuance, every pause for breath, reenacted down to the finest detail, better than any audio recording you could ever imagine, more immaculate a simulacra than any man or machine should ever be capable of. It's so perfect, in fact, that you're no longer certain which of these patients is the real Emiliano. Hey, Melusine, how is that? Am I laying the accent on too thick? Oh, I see, so he's like faking it. Seems fine to me, but I'd recommend letting your voice crack once in a while. It's been known to happen when Mr. Aguilar is heavily inebriated, and considering his drinking disposition, that particular nuance will come up quite frequently. Gotcha, I'll give it another go. Hey pal, can you give me some fresh material to rehearse? You're all a bunch of psychos! Mother effing heartless psychos! Emiliano sobs and howls himself raw, retching as the surgeon hacking his cerebellum induces full-body spasms. The other Emiliano merely clears his throat before howling much the same. You're all a bunch of psychos! How about that? Bit better? Considerably. I'll notify the post-op technicians to implant a few more speech impediment-inducing memories and apply brain damage relative to Mr. Aguilar's alcoholism. That should iron out the last neurophysical kinks. Jesus. That's how they fire people? So a clone is created or something? Maybe it's because there are these, like... there are these bits of information that can't possibly be revealed. So instead of just simply firing them, they create clones of them that might be better, or like, I guess that's their solution to problematic employees. Yeah, like, guys, at least give him anesthesia. It costs extra money, Kennedy. Oh, God. The other Emiliano gives a firm thumbs up, leaning back to enjoy his lobotomy with the lackadaisy indulgence of an expert barber's pre-haircut massage. Melusine turns to face the glass, her wide smile pulled painfully taut. She looks at you with tears and mascara streaking down her face, as though the grinning causes her far more pain than either patient's cerebral surgery. Was there anything else you needed to see, Mr. Burgard? Any specific tests to run? No, thank you, dear. That will be all. Just wanted our new hire to get a better idea of the daily grind. Oh, but do let me know if we need to make adjustments to mediatic nutrition, will you? I'll be on standby. With a curt nod, the receptionist turns her back. You hear a click, then a dialed tone, and the phone's ceaseless screaming abruptly cuts off. Across the glass, Emiliano thrashes with all his might, the sound of his screeching muted once again. So, what do you think? It's like, what do you mean, what do I think? Pretend to be calm and curious so you can figure out what the hell is happening. Demand your boss to tell you what the hell they're doing to those people. I'm gonna go with this one. Dear God. You've studied childhood trauma long enough to know that explosive reactions tend to incite abusers into further violence. Thus, even though it almost kills you, you keep your voice as calm as physically possible, expressing mild surprise and even milder confusion about the absolute nightmare unfurling before you. Mr. Burgard looks pleased as punched by your polite interest. A gentle, tremor-like laugh creeps up his cavernous throat as he gestures to the two Emilianos. And now MC already knows info that shouldn't be revealed to the world. I know, right? She's stuck now. That's why they do it. Only after the, evaluation and things like that, I suppose. I'm glad you're coming to this with an open mind. Most recruits get surprisingly antsy at this stage of our proceedings. What you see here is the most common and most heavily patented human resource service Smyrna Corp provides. We replace troublesome members of society with specially trained lab-raised actors that will live more efficient lives in our target's place. And what's more, we've performed today's processes all according to your specifications. Oh, God. Surprisingly. Your specifications? You had nothing to do with this. Unperturbed by your protests, Burgard motions to the silhouetted surgeons currently picking at both Emiliano's wet and naked craniums. First, as standard procedure, we have our doppelgangers undergo extensive surgeries. This ensures their size and appearance matches their height. However, we also perform highly precise neural excisions and hormonal dosing sessions to ensure both replacement and replacee have identical synaptic pathways. This means they'll share the same tastes, reflexes, and handicaps wherever applicable. In this case, we've altered portions of the cortex related to all those troublesome self-regulation behaviors Aguilar once used as coping mechanisms for his childhood traumas. It was a wise suggestion of yours to address such foundational behavior-based shortcomings directly at their source. Oh, God. After completing his bleak announcement with a showman's tone, the giant points to the device on his desk. Its myriad cables run along the floor and worm their way through slits in the two-way glass, connecting to the flashing televisions hanging above the patients' faces. Next, we bombard our subjects with doctored historical information and falsified childhood memory footage to rewrite their lived experiences. This will erase problematic attitudes and induce more desirable proclivities. This also extends the teaching of new value systems or religious beliefs, which you suggested should be done to treat extreme societal cases. And while Mr. Aguilar held some rather distasteful political views at the core of his character, rest assured we've replaced them with better values which align nicely with company interests. Oh, God. With an emphatic flourish, Obia tweaks another one of his machine's many knobs. A television screen flickers, replacing its gruesome slideshow of warfare footage slideshows with pictures of a pastoral farm. The loud Emiliano squirms as though he'd been tasered at a lethal voltage. Finally, the tweed behemoth nods to Melusine, whose eyes glance between both her patients, taking notes whenever one of them imitates the other. The two of them are becoming increasingly impossible to tell apart. So they take other real human and make him into the one that is being raised. But then the actor is also raised in a sense. Yeah, that sounds like what happens. And why can't they just inject needed stuff into the bad employee? Wouldn't that be easier? I don't really, it's yucky. Last but not least, Ms. Sansens arguably has the most important task of all, quality assurance. You see, our procedure is human, not mechanical. Instinct trumps algorithm when it comes to understanding people. Thus, it's imperative for staffers with an eye for societal cues to study the effects of non-sedated lobotomies, particularly during back and forth exchanges between target and replacement. This allows us to adjust mediatic nutrition quickly and to identify overlooked flaws in body language, voice modulation, or personality. All this ensures our doppelgangers perform their jobs correctly. Therefore, her approach needs to be thorough, targeted, and precise. She can't just bluntly remind these people of a singular oversimplified goal. People are more complex than that. They have diverse emotions, abilities, experiences, and she needs to make sure we change all of those to produce a believable, concealable replacement. Holy, he wasn't lying. You may now have pulled the trigger, but you did help him do this, step by step. As you reel from the weight of re-evaluation, Oria holds up 3 fingers, one by one. He curls them down like a buzzard's talons, wrapping around prey. Lobotomy, as I said, non-sedated. Yeah. Physical rewiring, psychological reconditioning, social reintegration, these are the pillars upon which Smyrna Corp's substitution services are built. This is how we guarantee that the tens of thousands of doppelgangers currently deployed to the public perform exactly as they must. It's how our company has controlled the course of human civilization for years upon years, steering it in whatever direction our executives deem right. It's how the right people have shown up at the right times and the right places, how the wrong items or ideas have never appeared at inopportune occasions. And it's how you will help us do our job, regardless of which department you are ultimately assigned to. So, are there any further questions about your new job's responsibilities? Questions? Screw you! You won't get away with this! Why the hell is Smyrna Corp doing this to people? Why didn't my aunt tell me about this? To be honest, yeah, why? The only logical explanation is that she didn't know this kind of insanity was occurring at her workplace. After all, the woman can definitely be a little heartless, but she wouldn't stoop to getting your job torturing people just to get her rent money, would she? Oh, sometimes we don't actually know those who you think are close to you. Our aunt screwed us over, I know, right? Oh, I'm afraid your aunt was very aware of the procedures we conduct here. She's undergone one herself, after all. It's part of what makes her such an exceptional recruiter. Oh my god. But please, don't resent her for keeping so much sensitive information confidential. To borrow an expression, we have many fingers shoved quite deep into a surprising amount of pies. The tweed behemoth spreads his arms wide, taking up a dramatic stance. His muscular limbs cast a vast, all-consuming shadow, much like the one his company must cast over the world. Societies, you see, are merely sets of rules meant to control select populaces, enforced by means of moral codes and legislative threats. Histories are naught but narratives parading as objective fact, deterministically controlling the future by defining the past. Economies are broad equations engineered to establish hierarchies and restrict freedoms indirectly. Our missive is to alter the evolution of all these entities everywhere in the world for the betterment of our species. This can mean overturning governments with silent revolutions, establishing or destroying businesses to reroute the flow of wealth, even altering history in ways that force us to reinterpret the present. Yeah, she did say sorry in advance. She totally knew. I guess it's not, it's not our real aunt. It's like a fake version. All the world's a stage, men and women merely players, but Smyrna Corp is the playwright, casting every actor's role. Today, your role has been decided too, and if you care to keep a roof over your head, you should refrain from delivering a disappointing performance. The giant's index finger prods your chest as he speaks. Each tap is like a bullet thudding against the Kevlar vest. Across the mirror, Emiliano screams as though he feels the gunshots too, his cries an ode to the dark future which awaits you, a future of perpetual, inescapable servitude. Obia's right. You need money. Agree to work here until you've saved enough to quit. You can't torture people, no matter how badly you need cash. Refuse. Oh, if we refuse it, what happens? We gotta save. Is there a way to save? No. Is it this way? Uh-oh. What have I done? Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, Oya's right, neither. I'm gonna continue the story. This could end up as a bad ending, so... The thought of helping these monsters makes you sick, but turning down the offer means you'll end up on the street. More like turning down the offer means you'll end up on the surgical bench being surgically messed around with. Thus, you promise Burgard to work hard and do better than Emiliano. For now. Wonderful, but do be warned, you'll need to perform very well for a very long time if you intend your time with us to be temporary. After all, we've already signed our first contract, and its strictest clauses do not expire anytime soon. Is it the hand thing? The man's pale eyes drift toward your hand, the one he shook that you thought was bleeding. Looking into your palm, you realize the hunch was fully justified because something did pierce it. There's a lump beneath the skin, a small, subtle rectangular protrusion you hadn't noticed until now, probably because it wasn't flashing, let alone making such an obnoxious sound. If they can just replace us with a more cooperative doppelganger, there's no point refusing. That's the thing. That's the thing. This, my friend, is what we refer to as a non-disclosure microchip. A brand new addition to our confidentiality policy specifically designed by our future partners at Radium Inc. It serves as an ID to access our offices, but also as an employee loyalty failsafe. Should you ever emit brain activity associated with treason, unauthorized divulgation of confidential data, or any such nasty business, the chip will emit a warning signal. Should the warning go unheeded, a lethal dose of Rhodium-210 will be discharged. Nigh untraceable radiotoxic isotope capable of inducing total organ shutdown within milliseconds. In other words, lest you care to experience a particularly messy demise, I suggest you remain on your best behaviour until you die of natural causes. It's a bit extreme, isn't it? The microchip starts beeping faster till it matches the demented tempo of your beating heart, no telling which of the two is about to explode first. The signal is interrupted by Mr. Burgard tutting as he checks his belt-sized watch. Dearie me, seems I lost track of time. Other appointments beckon. I'm afraid our meeting is at an end. You'd best return home and get plenty of rest. You'll need it for your onboarding. Oh, and please make an effort to be punctual, won't you? Your aunt warned me of your troublesome sleep schedule and general apathy, but we don't take kindly to those without backbone around here. Either arrive on time and complete your work on schedule, or we'll produce a replacement who shall do it for you. I know that sounds scary, but just think of it as the perfect opportunity for some long overdue self-improvement. So she had said things, which makes sense. It sounds like they can't lie. As Obuya chuckles, an elevator door screeches open behind you. The open shaft greets you like the gaping maw of a deep-sea fish. You glance between it and your manager, debating which is worse, wondering if you can really leave. When the behemoth smirks and winks at you, amused by the fear, you make a run for it. Your fingers mash every single button of the keypad's confusing display, hoping some combination of keys will get you as far as possible. Eventually, the grillage gate slams shut. The floor lurches upward, and Mr. Burgard waves goodbye, speaking the most chilling word you've heard all day. See you tomorrow. Oh. Your microtrip's alarm slows so cruel as all your hopes and dreams die a slow, whimpering death. Congratulations, you're hired. Oh my god. I am not punctual. I wish we just went as a consultant in clothes store. This is the punishment for being lazy, you know? If the main character had found a job sooner, she wouldn't be in this situation. And that is the end of the demo. A nice and also mean place to end, because now it's like, oh, I wonder what the job consists of. And also, is it going to be like this, where it's like a novel style? Are there going to be like some activities? Or I guess they will say it more on the Steam page, I guess. Let me quickly. So if you would like to let me wait. Wrong page. Give me a moment. And let me get the link up. Sorry. If you would like to check out this game a little more, then of course the link is in the description, but also let me type it up right now as well so that you can see it here as well. There we go. So, the beginning of the stream was quite chaotic, and my hair is really weird from the side now. But yeah, that was quite chaotic, and oh my god. I wonder if it's going to be just as horrific throughout the entire game. Is it bad that I'm hoping? Because, like, I love drama. Oh, dear me. Wishlisted, I do like a good horror VN. And it's not like... It's the kind of creepy... sort of... psychological horror, isn't it? It's not like lights shining in your face and things like that. So, I guess I'm kind of, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Again, link in the description of this video when it gets published, because obviously it takes a while. If not, it's in the chat bit. I've just literally put it there. So please do check it out if you're here and you're like curious about it. And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this stream. I know normally I do otome, so this is a little bit different from usual, but yeah, it was still fun. My next stream on here will be probably on Monday, and I'll be streaming an otome, so more like my audience's cup of tea probably. But yeah, I think that's it. And again, thank you for coming along, and bye.